Welcome to part 3 of this epic greenhouse tour. So I hope you enjoy this section. It's relatively short, but at least you can hear what I'm saying. So here we go. Just a quick fly through some of these. My bulbophyllum speciosum. Lots of new growth. I've been giving it lots of water, keeping it really humid, and it's grown really quickly. And then I'm going to start restricting water on that fella quite soon as well, because I really want it to flower. I've had it for ages. I just don't think I've been getting it quite right with the holding back on watering. So hopefully this year we're going to get it just right, and it's going to produce a nice spray of blooms for us. Down next to it is my tiny Dendrobium kingianum division, which I recently, I haven't had it that long really. I just potted up in this tiny little orchid pot I made, and it's flowered quite a lot, and it's put on lots of new growth down the bottom as well. It seems to be doing alright. So it's supposed to be a very easy to grow orchid anyway, but I've always wanted one and it was free, so yeah, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, I have to get this next orchid down because it's hanging from the ceiling with numerous things attached to it, some of which unfortunately have now become part of it. You'll see what I mean in a minute. And this is another large bulbophyllum. This is bulbophyllum africanianum. I'm sure it is. In fact, where's the tag gone? Oh, I don't know. Tag's gone. Right, so this is bulbophyllum africanum, whatever. And what I've done is I've put some tillandsias in it some time ago. The swamp crawler's just come on. Not I can see where they are. So I put this tillandsia here, just lay it on top of the surface, because these were like from the greenhouse, not from the greenhouse, from the local garden centre for next to nothing, because they were basically dead when I bought them, or they were looking basically dead. So I've got those little ferns in there, these little guys, get them out of there. So I just lay them on the surface. There's also a little bit of Spanish moss on this side here as well, which I just lay on the top of the surface of the media, all of which have now rooted into it. So I'm not sure whether you can see the base of that tillandsia there. See these brown roots here? Look, if I try and pick it up, it's very much part of this pot now. And the same with this one here as well. If I zoom in on the roots there, both of these have made significant rooting efforts and are now part of this pot. So it's my tillandsia and bulbophyllum africanum saucer mount, that one. Lots of new growth on the bulbophyllum. There's a new growth there. There's a new growth coming in, possibly a flower or bloom coming in there, and around this side as well. There's another little bloom or growth there as well. So, and he hangs up on the ceiling. Here's my I think quite impressive Dendrobium spectabile. This was it's got these weird sort of black spots on some of the leaves, and it was looking a little bit sad. I don't know what this is. It's not. I don't know. I don't think it's a virus. It hasn't spread to any of the new growth. Touch wood, but it produced this cane here and this big cane here as well. I keeping my eye on some of the dormant buds have emerged, but there's no signs of it. They're actually extending to form a flower spike just yet, but I keep my eye on it, so that's growing really well. If we pan around completely 180 degrees and go up, in that horribly backlit section are two other orchids which I will get down for us. Okay, I've just gone and got these orchids down. So this is my Coelogene cristata. Excuse the chain, that's just where it hangs up on, and it's sort of muddled along over the last few years, kind of, you know, barely staying alive, being relatively sad. But this year it's gone absolute great guns. So it flowered a little bit this year, not particularly well, but it did flower. Since then it's produced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 new growths. And you can see how big it is next to my hand. It's starting to really get of a decent sort of size. So I'm hoping for some significant blooming this year. And it's just growing in some fine grade orchid bark with some perlite in a hanging basket. So that guy's doing really well. I'm very happy with that. It's a great little orchid. Despite it being quite warm in the greenhouse, it seems to do quite well. And then over here, hopefully that's in shot. It doesn't really matter. This is my long-suffering Stanopia, unidentified Stanopia. I can't grow these orchids. I just have a habit of killing them. I just don't think I can keep them moist enough in the basket. So I'm tempted to, before this finally carks it, is to take it out and just put it in a normal pot and just hope that when the flower spike does emerge, if it does emerge at some point, it will actually find its way through one of the drain holes in the bottom. So yeah, that's where we are with that. Okay, so whilst we're down here on the ground underneath the benches, thought we'd have a look at what we've got here. This is a bulbophyllum lobii with some blooms which are opening. It's a pretty decent sized plant. This was gifted to me as well by a fan, so thank you very much. Well, I haven't even done anything to this. All I've done is just keep it in the pot it was in and place it underneath here. I was also given, this is a Gongora Galeata. All I've done is change the potting media it was in and change the amount of sphagnum moss in there, put a lot of sphagnum moss in there, and that's produced quite a few new growths since it's been in my care. So we've got one new growth there, there's another new growth coming up just by my finger, you might just be able to see it there, I'm touching it, and there's another one just here. This leaf's dead as a door now, needs to come off, and this is the growth, that its latest growth that's still continuing to grow. And they just sit down here at the moment. It's not particularly bright, but I figure rather hold back light on it for a little while and let it adjust rather than giving it full chat straight away. Over there in that spray bottle is £1 Oncidium. Still got some, I did an update on that recently, so I won't run through that in too much great detail, but 2 new growths coming up on that guy. Down here we've got another one of Archie's orchid gifts. This was, if I can probably zoom in on that a little bit as well. This was Stelis bizarrula. This guy's looking really well. It was looking a little bit miffed when it did turn up initially, but has since come on leaps and bounds, lots of new growth emerging, and it's got this sort of like long lanky habit. I need to sort that out, it needs a good pruning. It sort of produces little kikis as well, so I might divide it up, stick some on a mount, and for the moment it just sits down here by the bottom of the swamp cooler where it's nice and cool. Over this side is that Masdevallia, which was like a trial and error Masdevallia to see whether or not they would grow and tolerate my conditions. Well, they certainly do and have done very well. Well, that one has, although I think it's a hybrid, ergo they're always going to be a bit more vigorous than species orchids and a little less fussy. So, but it's still encouraging. Around on this side we've got my Cymbidium Tracianum. I've had forever and ever and ever and ever. Will it ever flower? I don't know. I think it probably hates me. I do see some new growth emerging. If I pick you guys up, put you over here, there is some new growth just at the bottom of this pseudo bulb, just here. So there's some new growth emerging on it. Do I think it will flower for me? No, I don't think so. I think this one, I think everybody has an orchid that hates them. I think Stanhopias and Cymbidium Tracianum do not like me. Over this side, if I pick you guys up, there's a little unidentified, zoom out. That's a little unidentified Cymbidium. It was just a little sprout that someone gave to me for free, but that seems to be growing quite well. And then over here we've got Darkness. Hang on a minute, that's too dark. So underneath the benching on this side we've got a few cool orchids. I'll pick them up. This was getting too bright, so this is the Shinorchis scalopendra. It was just getting too bright over there, so I've moved it. It stays moist. I don't like just on the pure cork, I just can't keep it wet enough, so I'm going to try and gently cut it off of that at some point and put it onto one of my mounts. So that hangs off the same pot that the Gomeza radicans lives on. This is my Gomeza. It wasn't happy anywhere apart from it. This is another one of those orchids you could just grow in a black box in a cupboard under the stairs. It does not appreciate sunlight. That's why it's down underneath the benching. There's lots of new flower spikes coming out of it. It seems really happy. Lots of new root growth. The simplest thing was it was just too bright for it. So I've moved it now, and it lives up here like this. And so there's Mr. Shinorchis. They live on each other like that. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. That's a pretty comprehensive look at my orchid collection at the moment and what's going on. We've got some things which are in bud, got some things which are in vegetative growth, and we've got some new additions and stuff to look at. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's taken quite a while to film, and yeah, if you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you don't do anything. And please leave some comments down below. I love them. I love the comments. It's always good to interact with you guys. And I guess the verdict's out on Echino labium over there, but whatever you think, put it down in the comments. Is it a new growth or is it a flower spike? Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye bye.